You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. How do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your step. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hello and welcome to the show. Welcome to FHL, Freedom, Health and Lifestyle. And of course, this is episode 74. Wow, we're getting there, Joey. And listen, look, we need to talk, right? We need to talk, buddy. But look, like, subscribe and share. Don't forget, click that notification button and then you'll obviously know when we're on, usually around about the same time every week. And of course, this is personal development with Freedom, Health and Lifestyle. And look, we're going to get into a few things. But Joe, listen. Say hello before you do.
Hey, Mike. Good day. Good day, everyone. This is Joy Magaunga here from Sydney, Australia. Oh, we're grateful to be around and surrounded by this great man here, Mike McGillen, all the way from Ireland. It's a pleasure, and can't wait to have our podcast tonight. Always looking forward for the opportunity to add value and also contribute in some way to our audience. And if you're watching this or watching the replay, like I said before, we're always proud of you because we hope we add value in some way. Maybe in a small way, medium way, or bigger way. All we want is you to success in life. So, Mike, thanks for the opportunity.
No, you're welcome, Joe. And listen, look, before we get started, obviously, look, you're in the army, right? That's one of the things that you do. what's going on in Australia at the moment? Because there's crazy things happening in the world, right? Is Australia mobilizing their military at all or anything like that happening? Just interested to know.
We are small, very small in numbers and also quantity compared to the rest of the world. But we do our best to make sure that we look after our nation, our community, our people, if something happened. But apart from that, we are very proud nation or also citizen to make sure that we look after our people. And as part of our role is to make sure that we prepare to the maximum that we and to become competent is what we do. Whatever role we're trained to become, we take pride, make sure we do it right and do it to the best of our ability. So nothing happened in Australia. The normal things going on, but compared to the rest of the world, I think every country, every nation, they have their own challenge in life, but people are still moving forward. So.
No, just interested to know, because obviously, you've probably seen the news about what's going on in the Northern Hemisphere. I should really turn you upside down because, obviously, you're in the land down under, right? So obviously, we need to talk, and what that's in reference to, Joe, is in reference to talking to yourself. Right? And we do it all the time, don't we? We're always talking to ourselves, but talking to yourself can be a powerful tool for self-awareness and emotional regulation if done mindfully, right? Now, approach it like a conversation with a trusted friend. Be kind, honest, and constructive. Use affirming and encouraging language to motivate yourself, or ask open questions to explore your thoughts and feelings. For instance, instead of criticizing yourself for a mistake, try saying, what can I learn from this? Or how can I move forward? Speaking to yourself aloud or in your mind can help clarify thoughts, reduce stress, and build resilience. Practice patience and self-compassion, treating your inner dialogue as a safe space for growth. What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
Very interesting topic, Mike. And first time I saw it, and I, have a big smile on my face because growing up, as a child, sometimes you talk to yourself. And when I become a parent, I, found my kids playing with their toys, and they talk to themselves. And you kind of like, back in the island, if people see you talking to yourself, they kind of like something wrong with you, But self-talk is very important as when we learn about personal development and self-grow, because it's a very powerful tool. Anyone can have the ability to really talk to himself, and because we're spiritual being, living in a physical body, and the whole idea, because our spiritual part is always want to express, always want to expand in some way, but we need that spirit to wake up. And I think that's part of our training with Bob is to help people wake up, not to physically wake up, but the thing inside us, the spirit inside us, that need. Because when that giant, Tony Robbins talk about, wake the giant up within you. It's talk to the same principle. Self-talk help to wake up our inner man or inner woman or within us, because that's the thing that keeps us going in life. That's the thing that want to do more, help more, contribute more, express more in life. And it's very, very important because our language and what our thought is can wake that person up. And that person is waiting for us to keep encouraging. It's like as a father encouraging and parents encouraging their children to do more, do better in life. So very interesting topic, and I'm glad that you come up with.
It is. I suppose, I learned a long time ago to, ask myself different questions. So if I find myself in a situation where I don't know what to do, I don't tell myself I don't know what to do. I asked myself a different question. I asked myself a question of, if I did know what to do, how would I do it? And that just opens up my mind to different possibilities, different options and different solutions. And and that kind of works for me. And of course, I was saying there towards the end, to practice patience and self-compassion. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about forgiving yourself and things like this, and which is an important thing to do. And I think I was saying at that time, that one of the techniques that I learned was practicing being bored, just being in my own space. And trying to quiet my mind, trying to calm my mind, because there was a time in my life when, when I moved out to the countryside, from living in a city all my life to moving out to the countryside, every day becomes like a Sunday. Time slows down, and it's like, oh my God. And the noise was deafening, and it wasn't because there was so much noise out in the country. There's no noise in the country apart from birds tweeting, bumblebees and things like this, and it was the chatter that was going on between my ears. And I was just talking to myself all of the time. And when I spoke to, somebody about this, and they said, Mike, you need to practice being bored. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, you just need to sit down, concentrate on your breathing, focus, and they were like, turn everything off, turn all the electrical equipment off, turn off, the television, turn off everything, just have quietness, concentrate on your breathing, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just listen. And I swear to God, Joe, it was probably one of the best things I've ever done, to practice that, that technique of practice being bored. And it's really just a form of meditation, I suppose. But it quietened it quietened my voice in my head. It literally, all of the chatter stopped, and it never came back. It never came back. And what it means is that now, obviously I still, talk to myself as I do, but I'm now the checker on the checker. I'm able to kind of catch that thought and able to stop, and say, do I actually agree with what I'm thinking here? Do you know what I mean? I'm actually able to take more time, to think about my thought, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But look, talking to yourself, and it comes down to, what do you say to yourself? Like if you're in a bad mood, you wake up in the morning, you stub your toe on the end of the bed, and you're like, oh, my toe, and all of a sudden, your day, you spill your coffee down your shirt, and you're like, oh, geez, what's going on? It's going to be one of those days, To be honest, you said it a couple of weeks back, you get a new opportunity every day to start right? And you can do that by what you say to yourself.
Yeah. Mike, you mentioned something very important. Is self-talk is not what you told to yourself, but what you ask about to yourself. What kind of question do you ask? And I remember, reading Thinking and Grow Rich, that book, and the author Napoleon Hill mentioned that, sometimes when he got stuck or faced adversity, he will ask question, how the successful people look at this from their point of view, how they look at this problem or this adversary in a different views. And that kind of question can, even Robert Kiyosaki, I'm a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki work and writing, in especially financial education. He said it's not what you it's the very important thing is the question that you ask yourself is, how can I achieve this? How can I, if I want to earn a multiple stream of income, it's the right question you should ask is, how can I achieve this? How can I achieve this? So instead of, I can't do it, I'm too old for this. That's kind of self-talk that diminish or turn the light out from the little seed of dream that were planted by someone to you, from your parents or from your teacher or from your business mentor or coaches and stuff like that. So the question is very powerful, and I really, really like that you touch on that one and reminds us. And when you got stuck in life, and a lot of people, the way they talk to themselves is blaming themselves, blaming others, blaming the environment, blaming the economy, blaming the government, blaming the politics, instead of really asking question, how can I be better from this situation? How I can become more from this situation? How can I, express differently? How can I look at these situations differently? And I think if you ask the right and quality question, you will start to realize that even funny, sometimes when I'm driving, I talk to myself, and the reason why I'm talking to myself, because I have to remind myself that I was God's highest form of creation, and God want me to be abundant, to have the prosperity that I need. I want to express more, to live the life that I was meant to be, instead of playing small. And it's funny, I mentioned something. There was a story that was written about me, and my wife was reading it, and I said this word. At one state of my life, I was uh, I was not happy, unhealthy, and financially struggle. And my wife said to me, why do you say you unhappy? you know um and I said, and my wife kind of like, you're not happy living with me, married with me, and now, and I was laughing. I said, I think you look in a different perspective. What I meant, I was disappointing. I was unhappy with me because I knew I can live to the maximum, but I haven't. And that's why I said I was unhappy. I was unhappy about myself. I was not unhappy about you, or the environment, or work, and my boss, or I was just unhappy that I knew I haven't lived to the fullest, of my potential. I haven't expressed my, the gift that I have. And my wife realized that, and I said, that's exactly the way I talk to myself. But one of the talking to myself that I do nowadays, I use the word I am, and it's coming back from my faith. It's in the Bible when God called Moses to go back to Egypt and rescue his people, the Israelite, and Moses asked, but if Pharaoh and the Egyptian asks, who sent you? Who sent you? And if I say God sent me, God has sent me, and what do I say to them about who? If they ask who is God, and the Bible reading, God said to Moses, tell them there's two words, I am. And I am is a very powerful word, because when you speak that word to yourself in my faith, you that's your God mode. You're telling yourself, you confirm yourself that you are who you meant to be. And that's kind of my self-talk nowadays when I'm driving or be myself, have a quiet time. I just tell myself, I am God's highest form of creation. I am successful. I am very powerful. I am help a lot of people. I am happy, healthy, successful. And that's the kind of self-talk that empower me in my journey, instead of I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm too old for this. Tell yourself something that uplifting your spirit, that kind of wake up the giant within you, because he's ready to unleash in some way. He just wait for you to be confirmed and feed it with the right word, because word is very powerful. As they said in the beginning, there was word, and word was present everywhere in us, and just need that self-talk to wake up our inner personality and attitude that bring us the best in us. You muted. You muted.
Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. But, interesting, Joe, that you bring that up, because you're moving into the kind of realms of manifestation, with that kind of affirmation and self-talk, especially when you talk about God spoke, and it was created. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it was. It was the word, and that's what it comes down to. And so when you're using those affirmations, I am powerful, I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, you're speaking it into existence. And that's really what's going on there, isn't it? But the same is true for negative self-talk. I'm so unlucky. This always happens. Bad things always happen to me. You are speaking that into existence too. So it does come down to what you say to yourself, but it's about that self-awareness. It is about being aware of what you say, and when you say stuff to yourself and you wrap it in emotion, this is the head and the heart, and we spoke about this a couple of weeks back. That's when the real magic happens. Do you know what I mean? When you believe, like I can see when you're talking, I can see that you have that inner confidence and you believe what you're saying, right? And that means that you've got a much better chance of getting what you talk about. Absolutely. And having those things. And in fact, to be honest, when I listen to you talk, I can see that you have them now. You have them, you already have them. You already, and all you're going to do is increase that in abundance. It's just going to come to you more and more and more because you're living that way. Just like in the, in that video at the beginning of the show, you got to act, walk, talk like you're already there. And this is what we're talking about, right?
Yes. And that video always reminds us how powerful when we have the awareness that we already have abundance. And one of Bob's work, he wrote a book called "You Were Born Rich," and every now and then I go back to that book and read, especially about money and wealth and how you can contribute. And it's very powerful because when we don't have the awareness, we kind of like holding back. We kind of like play small. We kind of like look down on ourselves. But when we have the awareness is very important. And you mentioned it. It's so true. And I like how you said you speaking into existing. Words become very powerful because it's a vibration and it's an energy that can transforms life. And sometimes growing up, my parents were totally two different way of discipline. My dad never really used the traditional way of discipline, with the belt or the broom. Mom was kind of like in traditional way of disciplining us that way. But that word is very powerful. It can even just he can say something to you and it make you emotionally regretting because it's cut through to the inside of me. And I remember, that's why his word is still with me because it's very powerful. It can stay with a person a long time. Someone can, and punch you or have a black eyes and that black eyes can go. But if someone say to you a word that maybe offended you or maybe inspire you to do something more in life, that words stay with you. And that's why it's very important to talk. It's funny because I was in the army this weekend training. I was talking to a colleague and he said, he was talking about, I'm single. I'm I don't know why, Joey, but I can't do much in life, and I was saying that, and I said to that, sometimes when our words is very important. When you say, how about if you change it? You said, I'm happy, even though I'm single, but I'm happy, I'm healthy. You contribute, I'm contributing to the army or bigger cause in life. Start saying positive things to your life because it's charged your spirit. And words can be cutting you down and or uplifting you. And like I said, some of my dad's words of wisdom still with me until now, even though he's no longer with me. But God bless him. But his words is very powerful, and every now and then when I reflected that, it's like it's put me back in the course.
Yeah, Joe, I'm going to share this video that you sent to me earlier in the week, which really, I think it adds value to what we're talking about. Let me just have a quick look.
The bearskin waterproof soft
Okay.
shell jacket. You won't even need an umbrella.
Most people only pay attention.
So you remember this video, Joe? You do, yeah?
Yeah, I do.
So we'll just play it, and then we'll bring it into the conversation.
Most people only pay attention to the final product of a successful entrepreneur. They say things like, I can never be like them, or they got lucky. What most don't see is what they've overcome. All the struggles, the daily rejections, the heartaches, the betrayals, the rumors, the criticism, the empty bank account, and all those lonely nights while trying to make their vision a reality. You see, the only difference between the one who quits and the one who doesn't is that they showed up every day. They worked hard every day. They hustled every day. They learned from a proven mentor every day. They improved every day. They did all this even though they felt like quitting every day. And eventually, they became who they are today.
It's kind of funny, that, Joe, because I watched that video after I was, putting this together. And I thought, you know what, that is so true, right? Because even in my business, there'd be times along the way you'd be like, why did I even start this? Do you know what I mean? And you do get attacked. And the funny thing is, and obviously, I always say, look, if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing it properly. Do you know what I mean? So, and of course, when you get attacked, you can learn. You can literally learn from it. You can literally grow from it, knowing that you're doing something right. Do you know what I mean? And it's not. Obviously, you don't go out intentionally to hurt someone's feelings or something like this. But when people start seeing you as being successful, they want to try and pull you down. They want to, and they do, and sometimes it's even, the people closest to you, so there's no doubt it is challenging. I kind of feel really kind of grateful and lucky that I have, studied personal development for like nearly 30 years. And I just fell into it. I was tricked into it, Joey. Tricked into it, right? Tricked into reading a book. And I've told you this before, the Think and Grow Rich. Not Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big. A guy asked me, could I read? And I made a joke and said, yeah, I can read. I got through school without reading a book, but yeah, I can read. And he said, look, read this book. Read chapter 2 and chapter 3. And chapter 2 was all about a disease called excusitis. And I was like, damn, do you know what I mean? Like, I've got to read this entire book because now if he asks me, I can't make an excuse up. But that literally got me involved in learning about myself, how to communicate better with myself. That book helped me to communicate better with me. And as a result, I can communicate better with other people, So learning how to talk to yourself, asking, telling yourself, look, we need to talk, stand in front of yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself. Do you know what? One of the best exercises I ever learned, and I can't remember who taught me it. I just can't remember who it was. And it was to stand in front of the mirror and smile at yourself, right? If you want to know what you think of yourself, stand in front of the mirror and smile at yourself, because a lot of times, when people try this for the first time, the voice that they hear in their head is, what have you got to smile about? You know, you got nothing to smile about, you know, and all this negative stuff comes out. You know, I've done this with people before in the past, and they ring me up and they're like, and I ask them, how did you get on with that exercise? And they were like, oh my God, it was so hard. You know, like it made me cry. It made me feel depressed. You know, and that's the true reflection of themselves. That's what they're saying to themselves. And once you understand how you talk to yourself, if you don't like what you're hearing, you can change it. That's the power of this. You can change exactly what you were saying. You can change what you say to yourself, can't you? You know, and I suppose when you were talking about, you know, this book, Think and Grow Rich, you know, and in this book, I've had this book for nearly 30 years, and I've got little notes in it, and you know where I wrote in it. But there's a section in here where he talks about standing in front of the mirror. You know, he gave him that. Remember, you know, Napoleon Hill he was given that thing to say. I'll pass you at the post. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I can't quite remember the whole thing. And he was saying that he felt stupid doing it in the beginning. You know, saying it. But then by the end of 30 days, like he was so passionate about it, he could believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like even his brother, who he was living with at the time, I think, you know, thought he was crazy. Do you know what I mean? You know, for being so passionate about it, because that self-talk, you know, if you're saying an affirmation, you know, about something that you want, something that you want to achieve, you know, it can take as little as 30 days to build, you know, the self-confidence, you know, and the desire to actually really go after it. You know, it can happen that quickly, right? With what you say to yourself.
Absolutely. You know, Mike, I reflect, and I'm kind of like putting this one in live too. So it's been recorded. Very, very good. Look, I reflect back in my life when especially when after primary school, and I want to go to a boarding school, and not only to boarding school, but I wanted to follow my dad's footsteps, because my dad went to a boarding school, and he always talked about how challenged what it is being in boarding school, have to go away from the family for a long time, you know, especially come from the island, and he learned the hard way. And he kind of like warned us that it's not good to go to boarding school. Just try the grammar school, the highest school, because if you get into that school, all you have to focus on school only. You don't focus on other area like going to the bush and plant your own crops, and helping in a different area. And I kind of like, I want that. I can't. This is what I want. I want life to be challenge me, and I want to challenge life too. I've been warned by him. I've been warned by my sibling that it's hard to go to a boarding school. Let's come with us, and we go to the Catholic school, or there's a mixed school. I didn't want to do that. I want to go and challenge myself, and I went through that. It was hard, like they said. They've been warned me, but I came out from that school as a better person. Quality of life totally different. I learned simple way of living, how to be survival in a less food, away from home, making your own beds, living with voice only, for weeks, and then go home for a few days and go back on Sunday, do it again. I came out as a totally different person, and I learned more from the experience after 6-7 years. I when I decided to move to Australia, I've been warned, you're gonna be alone. You're gonna be my sibling, my family been warned me, you're gonna be away from us, far away in distant. How can we help you if something happened? But I challenged myself. I want to move. I want to, So I moved to Australia and experienced the challenge, living with my family, new family here in Australia. It was not easy. I have to adapt very quickly, even though I wish to quickly adapt, but it takes time. If you know, everything takes time in life. And now, when I decided to join the army, I challenged myself again, and I've been warned. It's tough, it's hard, but then I went there and exactly what it's been warned me. but because self-talk helped me a lot. And I share with my fellow soldier, they asked me, how did you go through all this challenge and never give up? And I said, sometimes I just talk to God, and I just talk to my parents, even though they're not with me. I just said to them, I want to do this. I want to become a better person out of this experience. Can you help me? And I think one thing, choosing to become an entrepreneur, I've been warned. This is a lonely journey. This is you're gonna get a lot of rejection. People will question your decision, but because self-talk help you to realize and aware the bigger impact that you're gonna make, especially yourself. You're gonna be what is gonna be happen if you cut the cost, if you pay the price to become an entrepreneur or become a successful person in life. How many lives you will be able to change when you go through that challenge and adversary and lonely of become an entrepreneur or business person. So our self-talk is very, very important, because in life, when we go through the valley, go through the trends, um, when you say to yourself, because sometimes I experience, Mike, I ask myself, why I'm doing this, and why I'm doing this, I can stay home and be relaxed and be comfortable with what I have, but because I know that I can do more in life. I know I can help more people. I know I can make an impact in life more, because I don't want to look back one day and say, man, what a waste of time that I was in this earth. I have all the gift. I have all the potential to give back in some shape and form in a bigger way, and add value to people's life and make people's life better, a little bit better than what they are, and also wake up in the same way that we talk about. Help them to wake up and realize they're, they are God's highest form of creation, and they are here to enjoy the abundance of this world. They're just not here to just have enough. They're here in this world to enjoy the abundance and prosperity of this world, and not only for themselves, but to pay it forward to other peoples too. And I think that's you and I. That's what we are still showing up, like the video that we just saw. We just keep
Yeah.
showing up, because people will look funny at us and think that is nonsense. But we see the vision, we see the impact that we
Exactly,
make.
Joe.
All about the
Exactly.
impact. All about
Yeah,
the
it
impact.
is. It is. And, the truth is, you can chuck a rock into the ocean and you get a little ripple, but that ripple goes on and 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 on, and I remember when you were talking there that Bob Proctor, and if you don't know who Bob Proctor is, go and check him out. If you're watching live or in the replay, go and check out Bob Proctor. Go to YouTube and go to Proctor Gallagher Institute. You'll see a whole bunch of videos there. And of course you would have saw the video at the beginning as well. But he was talking about when if you're trying to solve a problem, to sit down at a table, write the problem down, put it in front of you, and even change seats, change position, occasionally, to move around, to see it from a different point of view, because that's what it is. You have to see things from a different point of view. It's the same as that quote, that I have on my wall, that Bob uses quite a lot, Buckminster Fuller's quote. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you've got to build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. And I think about that quote all the time. I think about, how do you know how to change your mind if you don't know that you're in a prison in your mind? Do you know what I mean? You don't know, you're not aware. And it's about being self-aware. It's about becoming aware of your thoughts, because your thoughts, and we know this, Joe, your thoughts, they control your feelings. A lot of people might disagree with me there, just thinking that their feelings control their thoughts. And maybe in some cases there are habitual feelings that you have when things happen, which do, but it usually starts with the thought, and then you have the feeling, but you don't recognize the thought, you recognize the feeling, and then you go into a panic mode or whatever, right? But your feelings control your actions, and your actions control your results, right? So, like, if you're not getting the results that you want, and it doesn't matter what business you're in, Joe, whether you're in your own business, whether you're in a network marketing business, whether you're doing a job, it doesn't matter. If you're not getting the outcomes that you want, you've got to change something that you're doing, and it starts with your thoughts. I was on a call the other day and someone said something which was really quite profound. We talk about goals, right? In fact, and they said, and this person, they just said, look, I had one goal this year. And everybody was like, only one goal, only one goal, only one goal. And I thought about it and I thought, that person is so right. Just have one goal, and all your focus and attention goes on attaining that goal. You can have little goals within that, to stepping stones to get you to that one main goal. But it's one goal. You've got to have one goal, and everything should be focused on that one thing, that one goal. Do you know what I mean? Nothing else. So I've been spending a lot of time thinking about that. And then it's about what I'm saying to myself. And listen, I've got some decisions to make. Do you know what I mean? And I have. And you have these daily habits that are all start in your mind. You have moments during the day when you're completely focused doing everything, then you're distracted. And then after that distraction is what happens in the next 5 minutes. How do you get back to that focus again? Do you know what I mean? Where all you're doing is thinking about that one goal, And to be honest, Joe, I don't have all the answers. I wish I did. Do you know what I mean? But look, I can only really talk about me and, the things that I've done. But I know that any success that I've had because I was focused and I was determined, and I wasn't going to let anybody tell me otherwise. Did I make mistakes along the way? Absolutely, I did. Yeah, lots of them. I learned from them, and that's part of the problem, is that as we get older, we don't want to fail, so we just stay comfortable. Just exactly what you were talking about. You could choose. Do you know what? I'm just going to relax. Just going to do less. Do you know what I mean? Take it a bit easier. Be happy with what I've got. Yeah, but we always want more. We always want more. Like when you were talking about being unhappy, you're not unhappy with your life as such. You're unhappy with your results, knowing that you could be doing more, knowing that you can be better. Like, trust me, Joey. I put my head on my pillow every night when I go to sleep, and I know I could have done more every day. Do you know what I mean? But did I do enough? Probably. Probably. Could I have done more? Always. Can always do more. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Because tomorrow, when I wake up, I've got another chance to do it right. Exactly as you said before. Today's just an opportunity to beat yesterday, to do better than yesterday, right? If you can put enough good days together, and to be honest, if you have I think I was talking about it, moments. If you can have, let's say that you make the next hour the best hour you've ever done, right? You do everything that you need to do in that hour. You're the best version of you in that hour. What if you did that for a day? What if you did that for a week? What if you did that for a month? How would your life change? But it starts with, the 6 inches between your ears, right? What you say to yourself, that conversation that you're having, like, it's tough, Joe. It's not easy. Easy to talk about, but it's not easy.
Absolutely. Mike, I reflect back when I most of my success in life, it's almost reflect on the little video that we just saw. It's the little extra effort that you put in. It's the little turn up, showing up that you do, that makes a difference. And we talk about, sometime in our life we ask question, and we can we're comfortable, and we think that we have enough. We don't have to do more, but because we know that we can impact more, not only within us but other people's life. That's why it keeps us standing up. And And exactly when I joined the military, I was failed one of my major assessment to go through to the next level. And they told me I have two options. One is to go back home and come back and do another 6 week again of training in the boot camp training, or I have to go back and restart again with another troop that just came in. It was one of the hard decisions, but I realized when I look back, I'm glad I did it. I didn't give up and just go back home straight away. I have a really think about it, and I said, the pain of going back and restart again, it's tough and it's hard, but it's only temporary. So when I complete the training, initial training, and I went back home, I went back by myself. But I was proud of myself looking back. There's no better feeling that you showing up. You keep turning up. Keep showing up when other people's are going back home and they done their part, and then you just keep going. And I think going back to the 1% better every single day in your journey, if you can allow yourself, give yourself a permission to 1% better every day and keep improving every single day. You will look back in your journey and so proud of you. I remember there's one of the event I went there and the lady said, do something today that tomorrow you will pat yourself on the back and say, well done, mate, because you done it. And, I always look back on that quote and knowing that what I do and go through today, even though it's hard and rejection and objection and, challenge, but like Richard, thinking and grow rich, it's only temporary. And every adversary come with a seed of successful. But a lot of people, when they don't have the awareness that they hit the first obstacle in life, they just give up. But how many people they can change if they keep going in life? And I think I applied that to my journey. If I give up, where can my kids will look up to inspire from? My daughter and my son will look up to their dad, and I think they will remember me, not for the money that I accumulated or the wealth that I accumulated, but they remember their dad went through some time that was hard, but he just keep going. Just keep going.
I'm just kind of flicking through this this book here. Can't see it very well. Think and Grow Rich, and there's, to be honest, there's just so many nuggets of just wisdom in this book. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just incredible about how it can help you raise your own awareness to how you think and how you feel. This book can change people's lives, and we know that it has. Because obviously I think the forewords in this book, or some of them, and I think Bob Proctor spoke about how like Napoleon Hill had made several millionaires, or not Napoleon Hill, but Andrew Carnegie had created, several millionaires, through his organizations and steel manufacturing and stuff like this. Whereas Napoleon Hill didn't believe that he could do more than what Andrew Carnegie had done. And the truth is, by writing this book, he's probably made thousands and thousands of millionaires. So he far surpassed him. A book that I would definitely recommend anybody to read. It talks about faith. You were talking about faith in the beginning. And I think I've got some highlighted stuff in it. This book is falling apart. The pages are falling out of it. It's that bloody old, Joey. It's older than your kids. It is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're so right. A lot of and that book is you talk about mastermind, you talk about decision. One of my favorite chapter 8 of that book, decision, and it said successful people, they make decisions very, very quickly, and they hardly change their decision.
They're slow to change their mind,
yeah. But unsuccessful people, they make decisions very slowly, and I used to be like that. Now, Mike, when I see opportunity and I do my due diligence, I just jump in. And I know sometimes my wife questioned my decision making, but it's worth, because at the end of
Yeah.
that decision, they proud that we have something in our journey, and to look back on it and fall back in it, not only financially but to hopefully a legacy for the family too. So, a great book, because it's got a lot of great principle on it. Mastermind,
Absolutely.
when two people come together, you and I keep turning up for 74 episode now, and we know, even though we're started, when no one's watching, and when we look back at most of successful people when they first start their podcast, there was no one watching. But
Mm.
as time go by, as people start to gain value from it and applied it, and then they realize there's because two is better. They say you can go by yourself, but if you want to go further in life, two or more people. And mastermind is a great principle value. When two people, and even the Bible talk about it, when two person come in my presence to pray or do some good cause in life, that's his promise. I will be there with them. And I honestly believe, you and I, because that's the good thing about technology. This is recording, and this is in your YouTube channel, and will last for a long, long time. And what a
Exactly.
great idea. Yeah. So
Well, do you
we
know,
live.
Joey, we were on the course there. We were on the Eric Worre GoPro branding challenge, and one of the
Mm,
videos that was on there was a guy who was talking about
Patrick,
he,
Patrick David.
he would give anything to spend some time with his grandparents, and he never
Mm,
knew them, you know.
mm,
And he was saying that what you're doing right now is that you're creating content that
mm,
your grandkids can get to know you, or your
absolutely.
great grandkids can get to know you. They can see who you are. Now,
Mm,
now that's something that when you think about it like that, there's no reason why you wouldn't come on here and share your thoughts and share your ideas, and your beliefs and your values, so that you can influence people in the future.
absolutely. It's so true. When he talk about it, he met uh, his grandfather. He never met him, but then he realized that if his grandfather, if there was a camera follow around his grandfather, he can go back and review his life, and
Mm.
he wish that he was have a time or moment to hear his wisdom, and that's, I think that's one of the things that I do with my content and my brand, is always bring up how my dad and my parents taught me, because my grandkids will never met my dad, or my mother, but they hear me share their wisdom, share their legacy within me, and it's through my activity, through my caring and sharing with other people, because I want to reflect that, so that my grandkids will come up one day and said, "Oh, this is," even though we didn't met our grandmother or grandfather, but dad, our my dad were talking about, and he was always on a video and stuff like that, and
Mm.
hopefully, can still make an impact and leave a legacy that will live forever.
Absolutely. Joe, so as usual, every week, I want to get your final thoughts on, we need to talk. And what we're talking about is, what you say when you talk to yourself. So give us your final thoughts.
Thanks, Mike. Always a pleasure to have that section with you and our audience. Um, if you want to find out more what we do, yeah, you can check us in our uh, Facebook, or our website. Mike and myself are always show up every Sunday to contribute in some way. So our final thought for tonight is, we need to talk, and we talk about tonight about self-talk, of how very important that small talk about our journey and also what we want to do in life. And if you want to learn, take a look at your child. Sometimes they play and they talk to themselves, but that's a way of planting a seed in their little mind that one day they will drive that truck that they were playing with, that one day they will fly on that plane they were playing with, and learn from it. Because those small talk, even though we are adult now, and myself, I still apply it. When I'm driving, I still talk up to myself. I still talk, I am so happy. I am grateful. I am financially free. I am helping a lot of people. Even though that small talk, people might hear it and think that I am crazy, but it's not crazy. It's all about try to waking up your inner self, the person that within you, because we believe we are spiritual being living in a physical body. And we need to wake up that spirit within us to live more, to do more, to make an impact more, to make influence more. And, self-talk is like a prayer. It's like you reconfirm with yourself, especially when you ask the right question. How can I do this? How can I achieve this? How can I go through this? How can I become better 1% every single day? And allow yourself, give yourself a permission to listen. Give yourself a permission to be aware of your current situation. And if your current situation, you don't like it, change it. Bob said, you can change it. You don't have to be reconditioned to the same situation or same condition that you were programmed from very young age. You can change it, do things in a certain way, look at it from a different perspective. If I change, if I do this, and always, like they said, for things to get better, you have to get better. For things to change, you have to change. We need to talk, and this is our topic for this week, episode 74, all the way from the Republic of Ireland. Mike McKillen and myself, Joy Makaunga from Sydney, Australia. We love you all. We're proud to you, and hopefully to catch you up. Even though some people, I look at my Facebook Live now, but in my Facebook, I put the link there, so you can click in there. I don't have to hold the camera all the time because my hand is starting to shaking. You can go and click the link, join us with Mike McKillen. And you never know, you can put some input to us, give us some ideas so we can talk more and add more. And hopefully one day you come in and join us in the podcast and give your thoughts and your contribution to the world. We love you all. Mike, right to you, my friend. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm blessed.
Brilliant.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. Now we say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your step. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.